What's up, listeners? Welcome back to another episode of the Jaftaf show, and we are the Jaftafs.
Yes, so boys and girls, here we're back again with amazing discussion. Today we're discussing about 12 Angry Men.
So basically, it is a story of 12 jury who has to come to a single decision whether the guy is guilty or not. And
Yes.
the guy is a 18-year-old guy
Uh,
who is accused of
is
killing his father.
killing his father here. And he's given witnesses are his neighbors and the people around him.
Actually, yeah, the guy who lives just in the town flat, and the woman who lives across the street.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
these are the two witnesses who has seen the guy.
Hmm.
So this movie is mostly about talking of these discussion of these 12
Hmm.
people.
Hmm.
People would think that this might go very boring and stuff,
Yeah.
but it is not like that. This
I was
you would
enjoying yesterday.
yeah, you would understand the script writing of this movie actually. And direction is also good, but I'm very like lean towards the script writing, how
Hmm.
the dialogue delivery, and how everybody is picking one element,
Yeah, yeah.
and how people being convinced, like how one person was able to convince everybody.
Hmm.
And because I remember in this movie there is one section where one person tells the guy who was thinking that the boy is not guilty, is that if you convinced every one of us and the guy becomes guilty, if he is guilty, then what will happen? So
Hmm.
that was a doubt that he was carrying in his mind. But still, sticking to the fact was much more important in this movie.
Hmm.
And understanding every single thing, every single detail is pretty crazy actually.
Yeah.
This was the second time I watched this movie.
Yeah, same here. The first time I remember we watched together when we were studying film, and then I couldn't grasp so many things because this was very new to me and I was very new to all this. But when I watched this for the second time yesterday, I really enjoyed, and in fact I would say I liked this movie so much because it surprised me because this is the first time I'm watching a movie which had like minimal location shooting locations. It had only three locations. One is exterior court shots, interior court shots, and the meeting area what they were discussing. So only three locations were used in this movie, and they used it very amazingly. And yeah, like usually all the jury guys like they were concerned about their own personal life. That one jury was concerned about going to watch basketball. He's like, yeah, we'll wrap it up.
Baseball.
Baseball. So he was concerned that yeah, let me go, let me finish this all work, let me say this guy is guilty, and let me just go and enjoy the baseball match. So but yeah, the juror 8, he says that, right, how can you decide the that he is guilty without any evidence, without any strong evidence? So that's when he's the one who says that everyone says that he's guilty, but he's the guy who says not guilty. And after many facts, many perceptions, many understanding, later everyone changed their decision, and the decision changing is so good. Like the juror 8 had to convey everyone that yeah, like he is not guilty, he is not guilty, and everyone breaking their character, everyone coming to giving vote from guilty to not guilty was very amazing. But yeah, it took time for jury number 3, I guess, the end guy. For him it took a lot of time because he was not dealing with practical way, he was dealing with emotional way, because the same thing happened to his family as well, because his son left the house and his mom was always waiting for his son, that and his son was never good, so he thought yeah, everyone deserves the same punishment. But yeah, eventually he bowed down and he had to change his decision because all the proofs were not uh, in favor of the accused guy. So that was very interesting to see that everyone had to change the decision, because and first it was just like everyone had to complete their job. But later, when the eventually movie continues, it was more like a responsibility that yeah, you can't just kill anyone by your own comfort zone. So that was really good.
Yeah, means evidence and witness were obviously against the 18-year-old guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And the jury 8 has just, Davis had only one opinion that
Uh-huh.
let's discuss it out. Let's
Mhm.
not finish it in 5 minutes
Yeah.
and go home. Because if like
Yeah.
something is
Okay.
going to
Okay.
decide,
Okay. Now, I even like the first scene when he says, right, everyone says guilty, 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 guilty. He's like not guilty, and everyone, we have to sit here now. We have to.
well, that was not one of the best reactions, I would say. For me, the part was where they started playing uh, circle and cross when he was telling something, and juror
Yeah.
12 and 3 started playing, and he was like, "This is not a game,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay?" And juror 3 was like, uh, "How can you be so arrogant with me?"
Hmm.
Because we could actually
He says
character
right.
development was also
He
happening.
says right. Who do you think who you are, and how can you do this to me?
Well, he was doing the same thing anyways. So I guess so that actually character development was happening. They actually writer was telling us more about how jury three, what kind of person he is, because you just need not to come to a conclusion. Also, you it also defines the person also because what kind of decision they are going to make.
Yeah.
Look, the person jury five who was living in slums, who used to live in slums,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? He had like a very good perspective about all the facts and evidences, like how one can stab somebody,
Mm-hmm.
right? And when you live in slum, like when you live close to a train track, how it feels to be that way. And
Yeah.
you cannot say the people who lives in slums are always going to be this way. So
Mm-hmm.
there were also a perspective that the jury 5 was able to give. And obviously the guy jury 11, I guess, yeah, who had also a good questions about like why would the kid come back
Mm-hmm.
to collect the knife and all, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these were the like good questions and good logics that were put up upfront. But for
Mm-hmm.
me, the best turnover was when jury 4 changed his vote to not guilty. So like
Mm-hmm.
he was very convinced about that a woman saw a guy killing
Yeah.
his father, and
Yeah.
she always also saw his face, right?
Mm-hmm.
And okay, if we believe that the old man is not saying the truth, but the woman would say the truth, she saw what is happening, this is the real thing that she saw.
Mm-hmm.
So how old guy picked up like, why do you kept on doing like this?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what is bothering you right now? And at that time, jury 4 was actually a little bit irritated that
Mm-hmm.
why this guy is interrupting me in the first
Yeah.
place. And he said like thrice,
Yeah.
excuse me for that, sorry for it.
Yeah.
And then he told him like,
So yeah, in the same scene, one more guy comes and says, right, you dare you talk to him like this, give him respect, he's elder, something like that.
no, no, that was not with jury 4. That was jury 3 because he was kept on screaming on jury 9,
Uh-huh.
the old guy. So jury 6 says that you are not allowed to talk to him like that. You have to respect. So it is not this case. It was a different conversation. So for me, this was the best turnover where like because jury 4 was very straightforward person and he was very based on the logics and facts.
Hmm.
But because he was the person who was wearing specs, that's why he got convinced that these kind of
Marks.
nose marks can only come when somebody's wearing spectacle, right?
Yeah.
And then he said like the same thing was on the woman, and he himself knew that he saw those marks on that woman also, and she
Hmm.
kept on doing like this, kept on doing like this.
Hmm.
So when he got convinced like 63 feet far, how somebody who is like wearing a specs could see somebody.
Hmm.
And at the night time when they are sleeping and they hear a scream,
Hmm.
so you would not just put up your specs and see what is happening. It will take time.
Yeah.
It will obviously take 2 3 seconds, right? But it would not be a natural reaction until
Hmm.
unless somebody is knocking on your door. So that was the best turnover for me, because I liked Jury 4. He was very specific about his things.
Yeah.
He was not emotionally just like when Jury 3 got what offended that
Hmm.
I'm gonna kill him, and Jury 4 says
Yeah.
you didn't really mean that, right? And so at that time, Jury 3 was telling Jury 4 that this guy is just trying to offend me. So
Hmm.
Jury 4 says, well, he did an excellent job. So
Hmm.
that was a good thing for me. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would say like here in if you talk about script writing and uh, yeah, when I was watching this movie, I remembered uh, the talks what Alfred Hitchcock used to say, that don't make audience to relax, make them feel nervous and tensed, and it's the same thing happened here as well. After every voting session, after every decision making, there one scene comes where the guy who he picks up knife and he demonstrates, okay, now I'll show you like this. He comes very close about to hit and everyone stands up, and that's where the scene, like everything was going very smoothly, just talking, and suddenly he was about to kill him. Everyone stood up. It even I although I had watched this movie, I thought, yeah, now he's gonna kill him. I was so invested in the story. But yeah, like he then he says, right, who is expert in this field will not go like this. They're just what do you say, open the knife and just pluck it like this. So even he knew like where he comes from and how surroundings were. So even he had a point, and he pulled up his shirt and showed that he had a mark, like someone had stabbed him earlier. So according to his confession, that he says that, yeah, this is very common, where this is a very common practice, people stab each other for no reason, like it's very common, like so there's no like very big thing. So he was used to it. And yeah, like the after jury 8, there's one old guy who first changes his decision from guilty to not guilty, and everyone uh, like sees him as a victim, that how the hell did you change the decision, like you're the traitor. And that old guy was just doing his job, like he was just saying that, yeah, I don't feel that he is guilty, he's not guilty. And everyone is talking rubbish to the old guy, the who's sitting next to jury 8. So I felt little funny there, that everyone just now the I would say that until unless they had like 6 guilty, 6 not guilty votes, everyone were concerned that, yeah, let us finish this work ASAP and let us go in our daily lives. One has to go to the baseball match. One jury had to go somewhere else. So they just don't want to be in this like the meeting. So they had to finish this. But when eventually facts were debunking, everyone became serious. That, yeah, like let us concentrate on the case and let's debug the whatever the discussion is. So I really liked it. It was great.
Yeah. And the one more interesting thing was there, like whosoever was changing their vote, no, they were actually getting interested in the conversation.
Yeah.
That they literally want to figure it out, like what is going on. So what I believe that all the people who were saying that the person is not guilty, they have a like space for doubt. They
Mhm.
had a reason for doubt. That's it. They didn't know that it is right or not. They just had a reason of doubt, and that was a good thing. That was a good instinct, you
Mhm.
know. And the fact that the funny guy who kept on doodling and
Mhm.
putting specs and all, he had not very strong opinions about it. He was not even part of the conversation much, because he was not putting up too many facts.
Mhm.
But obviously, he got convinced so easily. Actually, thrice he got convinced. First, he was saying not guilty, sorry, guilty, not guilty, guilty, and again not guilty.
Yeah, he
So
changed.
that shows what kind of character he was. Like
Mhm.
he got convinced so easily.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't put up his thoughts, any questions, and he was all obviously listening to the people carefully. That was the
Mhm.
thing he was able to do. And there's this guy, jury 10, I guess, 8, 9, 10, I guess. The guy who was kept on coughing. Was
The, yeah, middle-aged guy, huh?
Yeah. So that guy was in a rage that
Yeah.
no, you guys are being stupid,
Yeah.
right? So all these words kept on telling you that these are not factual things, these are emotional things.
Yeah.
When you say somebody is stupid in a discussion, there's no point.
Mhm.
You should be like that you can be wrong based on this. You
Mhm.
cannot say somebody is stupid because they have an opinion,
Mhm.
right? And then suddenly people start changing.
Mhm.
Although and the second most like unreliable guy was the guy who wanted to watch baseball match.
Mhm.
So because he got convinced just because he had to leave,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he wanted to make some side win.
Yes.
So, and that was also a good question by jury 11, that you should not change your opinion because you want to go somewhere. This is
Exactly.
we are talking about somebody's life,
Yeah.
not your baseball game anyways. And it might get cancelled because it's raining anyways.
Mhm.
So, and sorry, yeah, got it. The 12th jury, I guess, was the person who was sitting in the middle of the table.
Ha
Yeah,
ha.
got it. Yeah,
He was the
he
guy who
was
was leading the conversation.
uh,
Yeah.
then he was the 12th guy. The specs one was the 11th. And the guy who had this Russian accent was the 10th guy. Yes, got
He
it.
didn't play so much. He
But he asked good questions.
ha ha.
Even asked the jury 7 that why are you changing your vote
Yeah.
to not guilty and stuff.
I would say that jury number 3 is the guy who was arguing from start to end because he felt it that something personal is happening to him. So he was into that zone that, yeah, let me just finish this guy's life. And yeah, if you look at in other way, this movie is a little darker because everyone, see here, the here you get to know a value of a human life, apart from being a known person or unknown person or being a celebrity. Everyone gets treated differently because for them, for the jury guys, it's just a regular day in office. So they are like, okay, let me just finish this work or let me just outsource this work. So they didn't value a life of human, they didn't value the life of human. And they were like, yeah, let us tell he's guilty. But I'm sure that if they say, if the jury guys also convey that, yeah, he's guilty, but I hope that even the main judge would obviously see facts and proofs that, yeah, like, then only I think they'll take decision. But I would say that jury number 8, when he says that he's not guilty, then everyone says that, yeah, like, why are you saying this? Then he's like, I don't know, I have no reason to say not guilty. He might be guilty or he might be not guilty. I would say that he's not guilty. Everyone says that, how do you know? I don't know. Like he basically he became neutral. He's not supporting anything. He was talking from a neutral point of perspective, that, yeah, he might be accused, he might not be accused, but he was not convinced that, yeah, just because of one wrong decision, a life of a child can destroy. So he started understanding that what happened, that was really good. I like that. Yeah.
Even jury 10, no. Somebody was telling, I guess jury 3 was telling jury 10 that how can you get convinced, you should be on our side and all. So he says that I should not be loyal to any side, okay?
Yeah.
And I am just going with my instinct, whatever I believe in. So that was also a good point to put up, that yeah, it's not about sides, it's more about instinct. And that guy explains everybody when they started, when jury 3 started fighting with jury 8, that why we are strong and why we are jury is because we don't have anything to gain from it, and
Yeah.
neither we don't have anything lose from it. So that what makes us who we are. So we have to like set us apart, our whatever emotional pains that we have, and we should think thoroughly about it. You know, I was noticing the direction of the movie. Like they have the director has a sequence where he is putting the camera on the table, and whosoever is telling their opinions, they have the same camera angle, like mid shot, where camera was like doing this pan from right to left, and going. So, but whenever any reaction comes, whenever someone speaks that I believe like this is happening, he is guilty because of this reason, then there is a reaction also, whether somebody is being agree to the person or not agree with the person. So then the camera angle was changing, and I like that that chemistry between these 3 and 4 camera angles, where like how you are going to the close-up part. Obviously, the composition was very, very important. The staging and blocking was very, very important in this movie. And side by side, the dialogue delivery was also there. Like when somebody is asking and somebody is answering, right? Then there is always going to be one guy who is going to speak in the middle. That
Yeah.
what are you doing? Why are you saying this?
Yeah.
And why do you believe on this? Every single time, whenever this kind
Yeah.
of argument was happening or discussion was happening, and obviously they used mostly two walls, mostly two walls
Huh, huh.
to break down the shots. And obviously sometimes the camera was on the table where you want to show the extreme close up of the person. You remember when jury 4 got convinced that yeah, the woman might not see the boy clearly because she must be wearing the glasses. So at that time his close up was pretty crazy,
Yeah.
and the lighting onto him was very, very intense. That he has like he is a guy who is very, very logical about the things and always confident about the decisions that he make. But when he has to change his decision because he believes that he is wrong, at that time we could see his face, like anybody can be defeated
Yeah.
if you are not right. So
Yeah.
that was a very because the last 3 people, jury 9, jury 4, and jury 3, convincing them was very, very important part to save that boy. And these 3 being there was also very important, because if nobody is going to question you, how are you going to answer them? How are you going to convince them? If everybody is going to be convinced that yeah, everybody is saying that he is not guilty, let's believe that he is not guilty. But because of those 3 guys, jury 9, jury 4, and jury 3,
Yeah.
they were strongly able to convince the audience as well that yes, the
Yeah.
audience didn't even know the facts and figures, they got to know while the discussion is happening.
Yeah.
But still, they were able to convince the people because these 3 forced them to do it. You know, these 3 were actually very, very strong people, because
Yeah.
jury 3 was emotionally very rigid to his
Yeah.
thoughts. And
At the end,
fourth
also, he
was
was not ready to accept that.
yeah.
Yeah. He inside, in deep inside, he knew that yeah, my decision is wrong, but he was not ready to show that yeah, I am wrong.
So
So
that was a block that they wall that they need to break.
yes.
And and the best part was that jury 4 was very straightforward and logical, factual guy, and the senior most guy took the responsibility to change his thoughts. That was a very good thing that they did.
Jury
You
number
know,
9, right?
jury number 9, jury
9.
number
Yes.
9.
Yes.
Jury, yeah, sorry. Jury number 10 was the old guy, and jury number 9 was the sorry, jury number
No.
9 was the old guy.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
jury number 10 was the middle-aged guy who
Yeah.
was kept on coughing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So 10, 4, and 3 were the last 3. And how 9 convinced 4 was the best part for me.
Yeah.
Means
Yeah.
that was the best part.
Yeah.
Even 8th. Jury 8 also tried to do it. Like, do you remember what you did yesterday, and the day before that, and the day
Ha.
before that, and the day before that? Do you remember the movie? Do you know the details? Right? Uh, who was a supporting actor, and you were in the stable mental state, right? And his sweat, he was sweating at that time. So
Yeah.
that was but he was not even convinced at that time.
Hmm.
So you see, 8 tried his best to do it, but 9 had to take the responsibility to overcome it. So that was a
Yeah.
good storytelling and deciding where you want to put up the chemistry between two juries and all.
Hmm.
So yeah, man, that it was a crazy writing, I would say. It means
Yeah.
very, very crazy writing, how
Yeah.
the writer was imagining all these 12 characters.
Yeah. Yeah, like when I was watching this, I remembered few scenes from Oppenheimer, where initially Oppenheimer scene starts that with a jury scene where Oppenheimer had to confess and answer few questions to the guys. Same, but yeah, in Oppenheimer the direction and the cinematography is enhanced because obviously a budget and the time period when they shot this. But yeah, imagine if they had the same thing in this 12 Angry Man. If like imagine whenever something very important or very rigid conversation happens and there's like blown up light and intense music, so it would be great to watch. But yeah, if you see this movie 12 Angry Men, there is not a lot of any background music, not any sounds. It's just pure fan sounds, and the rain sounds are the only sounds where like the leading sounds. And apart from that, everyone was just smoking, reading paper, or just discussion was going on. And only when the meeting was getting started, there was one sound playing, and the end when everyone get convinced, there's one sound gets played. Apart from that, there is no use of music in this. And movies like this, to keep it engaging, it's very tough because you don't have any music or you don't have any elements where it's funny. It's very serious talks and it's very logical talks, but still keeping it very engaging is it's really good work from the crew, like the back end team of this film. I would say that yeah, this we have to learn from something like this. It's very important.
But I would say the time that this movie was made now, it
Yeah.
was able to reflect that, like, yeah, like these kind of conversation, this is how people used to think. You
Hmm.
know, even if we make this movie again with better cinematography and better camera techniques, but how people used to think in 1957, you
Hmm.
know, that is also reflected by the kind of visuals that you are designing.
Hmm.
And the rawness in that visual makes it premium. That
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
these kind of techniques existed at that time.
Hmm.
I obviously know that still people make movies that about like World War and all, where these camera techniques didn't existed.
Hmm.
But still, what I would say about this movie, that the visuals of this movie actually defines the people there.
Hmm.
Like when these guys were talking, I could tell that this is New York actually. The city is New York because the accent, this kind of accent, even Taxi Driver. You remember
Ha.
how his accent was.
Yeah.
Everybody has the same, most of the people has the same accent,
Hmm.
especially Jury 3 and Jury 7. They
Hmm.
had the same accent. How
They were
uh,
localites.
accent, no, in Taxi Driver,
Hmm.
same accent they had. So I
Yeah.
understood that this is New York first thing, because the kind of fast life these guys are trying to show, like
Yeah.
one guy is a doodler, means he do something for the newspaper and all, and these kind of profession New York had at that time,
Ha.
because New York was a big city.
Yeah.
People, reporters, stock people, right, and stockholders and all. These guys used to be there in New York for
Yeah.
quite a long time, so
Hmm.
that kind of reflection was there, and that was in writer's mind also, that I have to generate characters who lives in this kind of city, you
Hmm.
know. And there was no black man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it doesn't matter. Like,
No, I am just saying that.
uh,
Okay, that there was no black guy.
uh, so
Got
so
it?
so what are you trying to say? If black man
Okay,
was there,
I'll tell you. The black, if there would have been a black guy in this conversation,
uh,
you know, he wouldn't change his vote to not guilty because he's black in between so many white people,
okay,
and he had to say yes only. No, because it was 1957, man. You have to be in the zone that you have to be. If like they are, he would know that these guys are not going to listen to my logics and
uh,
facts, so I have to be agreed to these guys. And I would say that if a black guy would have been there, no, then after, like, when two three people got convinced that the other boy is not guilty, then he would have came with a very good logic, and he would
mhm.
have convinced two more people to change their thoughts.
Okay,
That kind of thing could have been introduced also, but
okay,
I don't know. It was directors, whatever he made was good. I'm just saying that one more element can also be added, that a black guy. So yeah,
okay,
that's what I feel. That
uh,
will also, because obviously it's not like no black guy would have been in the city, right? It's not like it's white. New York was not a white people city, no. It
exactly,
never was, right? And why not choosing a colored person, right? Why not choosing? I would say, like, what you tell me, why not? It's not like they are not working on a good designation and stuff.
yeah.
Obviously they are.
Maybe this might be decision of the like movie makers. We don't know. Like, they just wanted to show like this.
Yeah, whatever it is, I'm just saying, why not?
Hmm.
you know why not? They could have done it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
but whatever, man, I was convinced. I was very very into the conversation, and when I was watching it, I was able to break down the script. I love the composition where jury 10 was trying to tell everybody something, and they were just standing up and going to different position.
Yeah.
And the composition, I even took the screenshot of that composition.
Hmm.
Maybe I'm gonna make the thumbnail out of that only, I don't know.
Okay.
But it was good. Like, then jury 10 comes forward and sit on the bench, and then everybody starts sitting on their chair. So
Hmm.
that was also a good composition. And when jury 3 got so much angry, how everybody was looking at.
Hmm.
So that was also a very good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All the 10 guys were there, because the 11th one was here, and the third one, it was third man, jury third's point of view.
Hmm.
So those were also there.
Yeah.
And how the camera goes from the long shot to the close up shot of a person, that was
Hmm.
also a very great. How they use
Yeah.
the crane and all, it was a beauty, man.
Yeah.
This movie was a beauty, I would say.
Yeah. No, I have for real true. Like, when the case was about to close, that's the first time they introduced top down shot. Where, like, everyone, what do you say, everyone are like placed separately. They're not sitting in a table. Like, everyone is convinced, so they're leaning back. They're leaning towards right side, left side. There was only two guys, I guess, who was fighting till the end, jury number 3 and 8. So these were the guys who were just still not in the belief that, yeah, my decision is wrong. And that's when, like, the director introduced the top down shot where they showed the entire room, that how the guys are placed now. So that was really good. And when everyone were convinced, there's one more time when they show that everyone's sitting in the chair in the round table. Even it looked like, yeah, there's something hassle was going on entire movie, and now everything is sought. I would say that when the rain started, that's when the conversation level went up, and when the rain was about to stop, everything went calm. Like, so I would say that that's a good element to add. It, as a viewer, as a viewer also, like, we could see that, yeah, something is about to end now. Something good thing is coming soon. So that was a very good part of a cinematography team. And and when, like, the thing is closed, when they come out of the court, the old guy, jury number 8 and 9, I guess, the old guy, they come and meet. Yeah, like, what's your name? Then he says his name, and that's how they start introducing their, like, they didn't talk to each other like as a formally. Then they came out, and it was so good that, yeah, everything was sorted out, and even the boy got justice. It was very good to see that.
But yeah, obviously the case would still go.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
the boy won't go to the jail.
Yes, yes,
You
yes.
know, the case might go
Hmm.
forward, and obviously the decision was made. But and the last shot, the only camera angle that they showed at the end when everybody was taking their coat because the decision was made, it
Yeah.
was in the wardrobe only, and the camera goes out,
Hmm.
and as jury 8 takes jury third coat and put over him,
Hmm.
goes there, and then everybody goes out
Yeah,
from the
yeah,
room.
yeah.
So this is a very good blocking and staging of the,
Hmm.
I won't say, although they didn't use so many locations,
Yeah, yeah.
but how they did the blocking and staging was way more difficult using multiple
Yeah,
locations,
yeah,
because you are taking long shots
yeah.
in a single location,
Exactly.
and you are breaking actually every wall.
You know,
You know, when,
one thing my if my request was, if they could have pulled this movie in one take, that would be so good, because this had a potential. Not one take from start to end, one take from the meeting room. That would be so good. If they could have pulled this out, then I would be more happier. Like, but yeah, no doubt this movie is very great. I'm saying, if they could have pulled this in one go, it would have made more immersive, more, what do you say, good, because you're watching everything in real time, and
mm,
that would be so great.
yeah, means it's director's call. We can't say anything.
Yeah,
Obviously, the movie also starts with a long take,
yeah. There were
court,
many long takes
right? Like
actually.
very long. It was a very long take,
Yeah,
and then obviously it cuts to the part.
mm.
Obviously in the beginning we could see that the long takes were there.
Yeah, yeah,
And but it's not like director was just stick to it that
yeah,
I just want the long takes. He was more likely whenever it is required to take a long take and it's possible, let's just do it.
mm-hmm.
And how the cuts are happening, like one person is looking this side and that side. Obviously I'm telling you now, for the people's opinion there was a camera on the table, but for the reaction part they are using crane to show the dynamics, like
Uh,
who is listening to the guy and
mm.
how the guy is talking. And obviously there were so much deep focus.
Yeah, yeah,
I love the shots where, like, all sometimes somebody says something or asks them something and everybody's looking at them, like in a
yeah,
single shot
yeah.
there are two guys or three guys,
It
they're looking
it
like
looks
this.
so good in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very very good composition, because these guys are curious
yeah, yeah.
about what is happening. And the best part was nobody was taking their phone because there was no phone.
Yeah.
That was a very good part.
Yeah.
Nobody's thinking about anything else. When if in right now, if this thing happens, somebody will look at their phone, somebody will start talking.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the beauty of that time.
Exactly.
Nobody was thinking about their phone and what is going on,
Hmm.
right? And also there was also a good thing that they could actually added one more thing. Just like I said, one black guy, there should have also be a person who has somebody injured in their family, and
Okay.
he is kept on worried about that person. So
Hmm.
he is not able to come to a logic. So his challenge is to come to a mental state where he see things through and then make a decision. So that can also be a character development and all.
Hmm.
Well, that gives a challenge to the writer how they are changing their decision. Because
Hmm.
obviously, just like there was this one person who wanted to watch baseball game,
Hmm.
but even if he misses, it's not like he cannot watch it again.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah.
he gets frustrated.
Hmm.
But imagine if somebody whose person is admit in hospital, so
Hmm.
they will be worried about it and they'll be desperate that I want to leave this room right now.
Ah.
You know,
More
because
tension scenes can be
yeah,
added. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Because I got choose for the jury. That's why I've been coming. But I was not mentally prepared for it,
Hmm.
because, or maybe the jury at that time, the person could ask also that I don't want to be the jury because I
Ah.
have to be with my family. But
Exactly.
this could also be a element to add it. That's what I'm
Mhm.
saying.
Yeah.
Bothering something and stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, it was a good movie. It was a great movie. Actually, after
Yeah.
a very long time, I have been so much technical about
Yeah. Yeah.
everything, actually,
Yeah.
after
No,
a very
I
long.
really enjoyed after a long time that we came into cinema discussion. Not,
Real zone we were in, actually.
yeah,
This is what we really used to
yeah.
talk.
So I really enjoyed it, and yeah, first time I didn't really enjoyed it, but second time I really got hooked into this film, and yeah, there's one more remake in Hindi as well. So I think I might revisit to that as well to just see how these guys pulled off in Bollywood. So that would be interesting. Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Let me know because I don't know whether I am going to watch that or not.
Ah,
But yeah, guys, if you like the discussion, if you have watched the movie, like and subscribe and tell us like what was your best part, but
yes.
who was which jury you liked the most,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And like what was the facts and logics that you were much more convinced about because it was like watching like a international crime patrol a discussion making. So yeah,
Yeah. Okay, guys. This is a discussion from our side, and yeah,